Some football moments simply transcend beyond the beautiful game. They do not only fill us up with joy, but make us proud to be Africans. Over the last 7 days in North America, we've witnessed the pure joy of a rainbow nation. From the city of gold to the mother city, we've also experienced the pure joy of Cairo as the Pharaohs of Egypt ended a 92-year wait for their first ever World Cup victory. Africa continues to sparkle on the global stage as the Cape Verdean Fairy-tale continues. On today's episode of the continent's #1 magazine show, we celebrate with these history makers. I'm your host, Adelani. On today's show, we have special guests and a loaded show for you. Keep it locked right here. Welcome to the continent's #1 magazine show, and there's no better place to kick off this show than by, first of all, introducing the dream team today. A few changes in our panel today. It's Timothy Batabaire, it's Kanyiso Twaku, and also Junior Adesu. Am I correct? Eduse, yes, that's the surname. I always mixed up when I see Junior. But let me give you the trivia question for today. Which African country first won a FIFA World Cup match? Later on the show, we'll be giving you the answer to that, but let's get into it. Now, Kanyiso, we saw what happened during the week. South Africa making history. Have you recovered, first of all?
Look, we have to. I mean, as the game happened, the moment of euphoria was in the Serie 1. There needed to be the release of emotions, considering how Bafana Bafana started the tournament with that loss against Mexico. But again, if you look at Hugo Broos's team.
You, Timothy, could you predict the scoreline? Could you predict what's going to happen in that game against Canada and how the two teams stack up?
Look, I can confidently confirm that Bafana will win the game. Bafana is moving away from a very high altitude area of Mexico, playing their game in LA, compared to Canada that is moving away from their home base Vancouver to go and play.
So your scoreline, don't be scared, a quick scoreline.
It will be a 3-1 score for Bafana Bafana.
A 3-1 scoreline for Bafana Bafana. I got a chance to speak to my co-host, the queen of African football herself, and here's what she had to say about what to expect between Bafana Bafana and Canada and so much more. Watch this. So Africa, like I promised you, Auntie Diski will join us some way, somehow on the show. So I managed to get her to tell us her experience of South Africa versus South Korea. What a special moment in Bafana Bafana's history.
The feeling, you know, I mean, every time when there's history that's produced like this, it's always exciting. And I mean, Bafana Bafana handled that pressure so well. A lot of people didn't anticipate Bafana was going to not only walk away with the win, but have that synergy and that great performance that they did. It's absolutely electrifying atmosphere everywhere across the globe celebrating Bafana Bafana's victory.
Jessica, for you, what was the difference this time around? We saw Bafana Bafana play Mexico. We saw their second game against Czechia, and now we're seeing a different Bafana Bafana from Hugo Broos. He decided to actually go with a more attacking lineup. For you, what do you think was the game changer in this game?
Adelani, I think you've already alluded to it, and I think Greg would definitely agree with me on this one. It's definitely the change up for the lineup. You know, we went into attack, we possessed a lot of comfortability and confidence, and I think had we started the opening match against Mexico with this lineup that we had, perhaps we'd be having a different conversation. So I think playing the relevant and the right players that do have the hunger to be able to, you know, find the back of the nets definitely helped us. I think this starting lineup is one of the strongest we've had in this running, and I'm hoping, obviously, moving forward, this is the kind of approach that Bafana Bafana has in terms of finding the relevant points moving forward. Looking at Canada, how they finished with the same number of points. They also finished second position, which we did. So I think there's nothing really to fear. I think if we carry the right momentum, the right mindset, and we eliminate the fear of anxiety and nervousness, we'll definitely be able to do this. Who knew that we needed the combinations of Okon and Bokazi? Who knew that Makgopa was going to find the relevant headers that we needed in those spaces? I think the synergy with the boys, how they have it in terms of the pace, in terms of understanding the game. Yes, with the exclusions of Tembo Khomokwena, it was always questionable as to how we're going to dazzle that midfield, but I think we really locked it in as best as we did. So I think Canada really should be the team to really be worried in this dance.
Okay, Jess, can't wait to have you back here with me. Make sure next week you keep your promise and you come back and join me right here on the FA show. So that was the queen of African football, Jessica Antidiski. We'll be going on a short cooling break, but we'll be back. Yes, no DNA, just RSA. We'll be back shortly. Welcome back to the only show on the continent where you get to discover the whole continent through the beautiful football played on our shores. We're still talking to the Dream Team, and now we have to look at the Maghreb region because it was a Maghreb mix of fortunes on the global stage. Yes, we saw some of them do well, and well, a team is already eliminated. I don't want to say any names yet, but let's start with Egypt because we
look at the performance, for example, in 2018 and 2022, when Mohamed Salah is injured, when Mohamed Salah is not at the top of his game, Egypt always struggles. But again, in this team, we are looking at the selection and the appointment of the new coach, Hossein Hassan. I think that's a player, a legend who played football and won trophies for the Egyptian Pharaohs. Now being in the dugout, all these players
with his twin brother.
I'm sure I can tell you that is the rubbing off point as why they are performing so well.
Oh, well, incredible. 92 years is a long time. Kayiso's glad South Africa didn't have to wait that long.
Exactly.
Yes, but tell me, let's talk about Tunisia now because something happened to the Eagles of Carthage. They had their wings clipped.
Yeah, look at this two ways. You look at how they played in AFCON. They finished second out of their group and they actually struggled in the African Cup of Nations. I mean, they were eliminated by Mali, they were helped by Tanzania. But I think where it really matters was what they did in the qualifiers. The qualifying group there, Namibia, Liberia, Malawi, Equatorial Guinea, and Sao Tome, you're going to get out of that group. They got out of there, played 10-1-9 through.
Very emotional decision. That was just to do damage control. Yeah. What is even shocking is that the contract is only for the duration of the World Cup. Yeah. So
technically 2 games.
Yes, Junior, let's talk about Morocco because the Atlas Lions did something magical this week.
Yeah, I mean, the Atlas, as normal Lions, they are king of the African jungle. So I'm not surprised as in...
I think they need to tighten up a little bit, concede less or no goals, and then they've got a very good attacking squad going forward.
Oh, wow. Timothy Batabayre putting in his CV there to coach the Moroccan team on defending. But now let's look at the current third place standings now. from what we can see, Algeria is in 5th place on 3 points. Cabo Verde is in 8th place on 2 points. DR Congo 10th place on 1 point, with Senegal 12th place on 1 point. Now, do any teams seem like they would make it as the best 3rd placed team in their group?
Look, the key part is that they just need to win the games. I mean, Senegal are probably in the biggest spot right now, in that you've only got a point out of no points from your 2 games that you've conceded. Remember, you've got the challenge of head-to-head. They've lost to France, they've lost to Norway, so already, even if they are able to find a win in their last game, they can't finish higher than 3rd. So that's the challenge that they face at the moment. I mean, Algeria, again, they've got the points in the bank. The points in the bank is the most important thing right now. You could say the same for Cape Verde. 2 draws, you've got 2 points. If you're able to find the win, it's good for you, because now that 1 point, now the 2 points now is the 3 points in the push.
Okay, well, let's see what happens with North African football in the World Cup. We're firmly behind all our African teams. We will just take a little cooling break. It doesn't only happen on the pitch of play, it happens right here also on the FA show. Stay tuned. We're back from our hydration break. I've consulted the team, I've spoken to them, and they're ready to give you the answer to today's trivia question, which is, which African country first won a FIFA World Cup match? Kadiso, can you give us the answer?
Feels like a lifetime ago, hey? They would do with this one, but it is Tunisia. They beat Mexico 3-1. That was in Rosario, June 1978, June 1978. I mean, if you look back at the fact that they'd won then, but they didn't progress out of the group stage, they would be needing that particular win now. But it just speaks to how African teams have just struggled to find their footing at the World Cup. Remember that Egypt had the first World Cup in 1930, yet it took them 40, I mean, there would have been 48 years just to win a game at the World Cup for African teams. So that's a long time.
The irony that is Tunisia, that was the first country. Well, with hydration breaks comes a little bit of a tactical change, and we've decided to bring in an Olympian, Greg Itafia, the man responsible for Bafana Bafana winning their first game against Nigeria. Don't tell anybody.
What were you saying, Adi? You know, to play for Nigerian national team, you know how to do it. You guys must wear that jersey and see how you feel. Not other countries just get caps. To play for Nigerian national team, Adi, you have to sweat.
So was it heaven for you?
No. It was a friendly game. What is it? For you to represent Nigeria, you have to work hard. So, both 3 of you mustn't say anything. Now, you to get 1 cap, so you guys must be quiet.
He had a Vincent Nyama problem.
Nigeria is not any other country. Just overplay. So 1 cap for Nigeria. It's like 400 caps in Uganda. In South Africa, maybe 100 caps. So Nigeria is on that level. What is it? Caps.
Okay.
Yes.
1 cap and there's caps. Okay. I have caps, not 1.
Okay, okay, gentlemen, Woodhouse, let's talk about the actual hydration breaks we've been seeing during the World Cup.
No, it's very important. I mean, the welfare of the players is very important, and before the FIFA World Cup, the rules is there, and because you remember the Club World Cup was there in America too, and the temperature is high, so players' welfare is important, you know, and I just feel like it's important. It depends on how you see it, you know. If you are leading the game and maybe you want to slow it down, you will like it. If you are losing and try to score, depends on where you sit, you know, in terms of that situation. Correct. But for me, I think it's very important.
Craig, am I hearing you correctly when you say it's very important?
Because of the temperature, Timothy.
The World Cup has just recorded their southern game.
No, Timothy.
Timothy,
before, but now the temperature is high. Before the FIFA World Cup, the temperature was high, and now before the FIFA World Cup, now the
let's listen to why Timothy thinks this isn't important?
Look, in my view, it's not all that very important, and I'll tell you why. This has been what we have been seeing by the FIFA president, Infantino, trying to commercialize the whole game of football. If you look at this whole, hydration break, it's more of advertising. They don't even show us what the teams are.
Yeah, but you have to advertise. You have to advertise because players want a lot of money. Players want to be paid more. Clubs want to be paid more. So the opportunity the FIFA and the broadcasting have now, they use that to make money.
I look at it this way. You speak of temperatures. I did commentary on the 2 games in Ontario, in Toronto. 26 degrees in Ontario, a midday game. Do you really need a...
Yeah, maybe. It depends on where you're coming from the world.
No.
You really need it. Depends on where you're coming from the world. You must understand, if you're coming from Africa and you're coming from Europe, it's different.
But 26 degrees, let's be honest, 26 degrees in Toronto.
Yes.
I would understand if you'd say you need a water break in 32 degrees in New York, because New York in summer can get
Or
hot.
in Sudan.
Yes, or even...
No, you're not playing World Cup in Sudan.
Go to Houston, for example. Or Houston, actually in the south of the US, where summer temperatures can get really stupidly hot.
Yes.
If you are now playing in 33, 34 degree heat in a 12 p.m. kickoff, I can understand. I mean, it happens here in the Betway Premiership, where you see that in 3 p.m. games at Loftus, FNB, and it's 34 degrees, there's a hydration break. But it's a game-by-game basis.
But the rules is there before the World Cup. So why there's no debate about it? Why the country just say that, oh, we don't need it? Yeah. If it's there, it's there. So you have to abide to the rules. Depends on what you see. You're watching it from a sitting position. Maybe you are under a shade. And the players are running, the different players from different continents. So you must understand, if the rules is there before the tournament, you have to abide to the rules.
So I wanted to ask you about the commercialization part of it. Do you agree with it?
I don't, because at the end of the day, it's effectively an Americanization of the sport, because we've gone through so many World Cups. I mean, this is not the first nor the last World Cup that will be held in extremely hot summer conditions. I mean, the 2002 World Cup was held in Japan and South Korea. Those were extremely hot temperatures. I mean, Germany 2006, I mean, there were games, those 3 p.m. kickoffs, you could see players were sweating. Again, and I agree with hydration breaks on a game-by-game basis. But how they've been commercialized has now become an issue, because it's very clear now that there's a commercial structure to them. If it was we're playing in Houston and therefore playing in Dallas, Texas, a very warm state, here we can have an exception. Yes.
Unfortunately, we, I could listen to you all day, but we went out onto the streets to find out not what people thought about the hydration breaks, but which teams they thought could make it to the round of 32, and here's what the people had to say.
Congratulations, Bafana Bafana, for making it to the round of 32. And here's my list of African teams that are going to make it to the round of 32. Obviously, South Africa is already qualified. Morocco, Ghana, and Egypt, they've already qualified with 4 points and more. And then we've got Ivory Coast and Algeria that only need a draw in order to qualify. And then the rest is DR Congo, Cape Verde, and Senegal. They need wins in order to qualify.
Bafana, I wish you good luck and make sure to defend well. Canada won, Bafana. Let's go, Bafana!
It surrounds us, every nation.
Okay, so the teams at the round of 32 already referred our very own South Africa. Oh my gosh. Bafana this morning. No man. And then return Morocco, Egypt, Cape Verde, Ghana. Definitely at the round of 32. And then Ghana. Ghana is also going. Algeria. And definitely the DRC. I don't think they're going to let us down. So those 7 teams are the ones that are going to round of 32 out of 10. So yes.
Thank you, gentlemen, for being on the show. Mr. Greg. Man, I'm sure if there were water breaks during your time, you wouldn't be saying this.
Now, it's important to have water break. If it's in the rules, it's in the rules. You have to abide by the rules. FIFA need to make money too.
Thank you, Timothy and Kaniso, for joining us. You know, that was an amazing debut. And thank you, beautiful people, for watching yet another episode of the continent's #1 magazine show. So we've celebrated with the history makers, we've spoken to the dream team, and one thing we can all agree on is that it is Africa's time now to write our names in the history books, this time in gold. Till next time, from me, Adelani, Ninitanda Nonke, Kakulu.